friends, and welcome to our first episode of Major's Quarantine Corner. I'm Noah Smith. Joined beside me here on this Zoom call is Dylan Baker. We're the voices of the London Majors, and we're really excited to bring this to you during this, pandemic, these trying times, as we're looking to try and find ways to keep us and you engaged in the London Majors. This is really going to be exciting for us. We're going to bring on former and current London Majors and really just have chats with them and talk about their life and their time with and before the Majors, and some great stories are sure to come out of this as well. Dylan, this is going to be really exciting for us.
It definitely is, Noah. And you know what? All these guys that are going to be coming on have spent a lot of time with the Majors, and we're certain that they have some great stories. So it's trying times, as you mentioned, and I'm sure we're all looking for a way to talk baseball, and what better way to do it than with the London Majors and the IBL in general.
Absolutely. Before we get into this, we'd like to take the chance while we can to thank all our essential workers out there who are doing their best every single day to keep us safe and to keep us at home where we can be safe. That means our healthcare workers, everyone driving the trucks, working at the grocery stores, etc. Dylan, the list goes on, but a big thank you to all of them.
Yeah, for sure. And this is far from normal, and these are trying times, like we've repeated on the show already. This is tough for everyone, and we thank all the frontline workers for their continued hard work to try and make this as normal as it possibly can be, because everyone's had to adjust during this period.
Absolutely. And, we do have time as well. We'd like to let you know that the London Majors store is up and running on our website. Lots of hats for the London Majors, as well as some other memorabilia available there. So make sure you go check it out on the London Majors website. We will put the link for it as well on the bottom of this video, and you can follow that to make sure you can get yourself some cool Majors hats.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what better time to rep the Majors than when you're stuck at home, right? And online shopping, I'm sure, has gone up. So why not go to the Majors store, which can be found on our website, and buy Majors hats?
Absolutely. Dylan, we have lots of great guests lined up for us here on Major's Quarantine Corner. Robert Doyle, who's a current London Major, will be joining us in the coming weeks, as well as a former Major and Chris Chambers. But our first guest is a real exciting one tonight, as Mr. RJ Fuhr, all the way from California, will be joining us. He spent 2 seasons with the Majors.
He did, and that was 2016 and 2018. RJ spent 2 years with the London Majors. He had a high batting average in both of those seasons. He was a very talented player when he was with us in London. We're very excited to get a chance to chat with him and pick his brain a little bit.
Absolutely. RJ will join us in just a second here as well. We had a lot of stuff lined up for the summer, Dylan, that was really exciting, that we were super excited to bring you guys here on Majors TV. For our live broadcast, we had a lot of new equipment coming in thanks to our sponsorship with the Rec Room in London. They have been fantastic, and they're working with us through this as well. So we had lots of good stuff lined up. Unfortunately, we won't get to see it just yet, but we're holding out hope that maybe we can bring you this new equipment and some of these new items that we have to you later this summer.
We'd love to bring you a wonderful broadcast this year. We're very thankful for the Rec Room and their sponsorships and all the donations we've received with broadcasting equipment. We wanted to have multiple cameras and really make this a fantastic broadcast experience for you, the viewer.
Absolutely. Working better to get every single year is what we're trying to do, and we're on track to do that again this year, but unfortunately these unforeseen circumstances have kept us here at home, but that's okay, because at the end of the day we are healthy, and we'll be ready to go when the time comes.
We definitely will be, Noah, and we're very excited to hopefully have a season, and whenever that may be, we would love to bring you a quality broadcast that you can enjoy from home.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll get this started, as Mr. RJ Fuhr is waiting all the way over in California to join us, and we'll get ready to ask him some questions. Fuhr, RJ, how is it going today?
It's going all right. It's hot out here for us. How about you guys?
I was just going to ask you that as well. We're actually getting a cold front right now, so it's a little bit chillier than it had been the rest of the week, but we're glad you're enjoying all the sunshine.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Don't miss the cold too much.
I can't say I blame you there. And I mean, you did get the chance to play in some colder temperatures in the regular season with the Majors. How tough was that for you as an outfielder, as a hitter in those cold temperatures at Labatt Park in early May?
You know, in early May, it really wasn't that bad. My last 2 years in college, I played in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So we'd be playing in the heart of winter in February, March, and April. So after going through that for 2 years, a little bit of cold in May wasn't a big deal.
So talk to us a little bit about your time in college and how that helped you prepare for playing in some of the professional leagues out of college.
Yeah. Well, I played 2 years of junior college at West LA, just out here in Culver City, California. Went through a ton of injuries when I was out there, but it was a big eye opener coming from high school. I mean, we would have about 65, 70 guys show up at the end of August for fall semester. And then you'd cut that down to, I think it was about 30 for the final season in February when it started. So getting used to that process where you have a ton of guys and it's easy to look at the math and the bulk of guys are going to get released or cut or however you want to look at it. So being able to go through that and then have to find a school to transfer to is similar to being a free agent. I didn't have a school at the end of my sophomore year. It's like ending a pro season with no contract. You have to find a place to go. It's a limited amount of time, and there's a lot of uncertainty around, which isn't fun, but you get kind of used to it after a while.
That's super interesting. Now, RJ, you were lucky enough to be the son of a professional athlete. How did your dad help prepare you for the grind of a professional season?
We would talk a little bit here and there when I would call him up. I was actually living with him at the time when I signed my first pro contract with the Joliet Slammers. A lot of it's just taking care of your body and just making sure that your focus is put in the right spot and you're doing what you can. There's so many things that you can't control. You can't control who they bring in, who they sign, who you're playing against. So the biggest thing was always just focusing on what you can control and making sure you take care of that first and foremost.
Now, you did play some ball before with some other independent teams before you came to London. What was it like coming to London? Had you been to London before or seen Labatt Park?
No, I hadn't been to London ever. Didn't even know where it was on a map, to be honest, before I came out there. But it was kind of crazy the way it happened. I got released around 3 p.m. one day. A few of my buddies were driving up to Maine where our normal team was, and they dropped me off at the Philly airport. Flew home, but on that flight home, arranged a deal with Roop, and I was flying out the next morning, so I didn't really have much time to prepare or look into it, which is kind of, for that time of my life, it was how I did things. I didn't know anything about my school going out to Iowa until about halfway through the drive.
That's super interesting how that all takes place, and it's crazy how it works in sports sometimes, right? And you mentioned how you'd never even heard of London before, but you got to play at one of the most historic baseball parks in the world, one of the oldest world baseball grounds in the world, I should say. What was that experience like for you?
Labatt's a beautiful park. I mean, I knew of London only because the London Knights, just from hockey and growing up. But Labatt Park itself, it's an awesome environment. I mean, the fans in the city embrace it really well and make it a much different experience than a lot of the other ballparks. My buddy Levy, who was on the team at the time, Todd, he sent me pictures and videos of the ballpark. We went our separate ways after our winter league. But it's a great experience and by far the best park in that league.
Now, you did get to play with some guys you mentioned as well. Was there any guys on the majors that were a favorite to play with on the diamond?
I mean, me and Cleve always had a good time joking around. I know he doesn't play on the diamond too much unless he's hitting, but we always had a good time. I really enjoyed a lot of the guys on the field. I mean, Amby, Queener, Byron, Bunsey, Candell. Trying to think, like everybody I really enjoyed with. There's always a good group of guys. But I really lucked out. My first year up there, I was going through a lot personally with just getting released for the second time, not sure what was going on. But I was living with Levy, Ben Runyon, and Candell, and there was a great group of guys, and Lejean. So they were a great group of guys that really just made it a really easy transition, and it was like a little pack or a family.
That's great that you had a supporting cast when you came to London, because obviously it's tough to transition coming up to a different country and playing in a different league. So it's good that you were able to have some people with you there. Now, you said that Labatt Park is by far the best park in the league. We would agree with you there. But did you have a favorite place to play outside of Labatt while you were here?
Yeah, it's some of the fields that you would think were typically you want to say Toronto or Kitchener because the fields are tiny and balls can fly out of there for anybody. But I like playing in Barrie and I like playing in Guelph for whatever reasons. For some reason about Guelph, I just like the way the field played and just felt really comfortable there.
Was there any guys around the league that gave you a tough time, or specifically pitchers, any pitchers that you can remember that were really tough to face?
Oh yeah. I think his name was Euclidus. He was in Brantford my last season there, and he was a nightmare in my opinion. He was the best pitcher in that league. Um, just the funky arm action he had coming from that weird arm angle, and being able to come with a firm pitch from that side and good breaking ball. It wasn't a fun lineup whenever you knew you were going against him.
I'm sure a lot of current majors recognize the name and the funky arm action of Euclidus Layer, who is a great pitcher and is a great pitcher, I should say, in the league. Now, this has been tough for everyone around the world right now, being in self-isolation. RJ, what have you been doing? What baseball activities have you been doing to keep in shape through all these times?
Oh man. Just like going on runs, the little at-home workouts, just trying to find different ways to break a sweat. Really, it's pretty tough out there to find different things to do. I mean, I've always been someone where I'd go to the gym or play adult league hockey or hit with some buddies, but everything's been closed, as you guys know. So just trying to different ways to break a sweat here and there.
Do you have anything planned down the road as far as your baseball career goes, or is it just kind of, I know you mentioned earlier on that you're kind of just playing things by ear as you have been in your career, but do you have anything planned or any idea of where you're going to be in the future?
For now, I'm just, I have a career in sales now. I'm just working through that and focusing on that, playing some baseball and a little bit of softball, which it's a bit of an adjustment. Probably get back into some hard pitch soon. But my body still moves well. I'm still athletic, so I like to stay active and keep playing. And I still got my old man to chasing golf, who's still out there playing scratch.
So RJ, you were a guy who hit for a great average and who got on base a lot and stole a lot of bases. How do you think you tailored your game to fit that style of a top of the order bat that can get on for the big guys and move around the bags?
I think that really started for me when I was about 13 or 14. I was a little bit of a heftier catcher in Little League, didn't run too well. Hit puberty one year, and I came back and told my mom I was the fastest kid in the team, and she was just like, poor team. But it turned out I was actually fast, kind of out of nowhere. So I had a coach at the time who was really big on bunting and just trying to get the ball on the ground and run and be aggressive and steal. So I've had a lot of years there with coaches who encourage that. The one thing about that is with that speed, if you're an aggressive hitter, then you're a hitter first and then speed second. Where for a long time there, I was speed first, then you try to scrap at the plate, maybe take a lot of walks or bunts. And at a certain point, teams know how to play you and they're not fearful of you, and you have infielders playing down your throat. So eventually everyone who has speed has to learn to be a hitter first and then let your speed be a bonus on top of that. So some singles turn to doubles, doubles to triples, steal some bags, so on and so forth.
Now, you mentioned you weren't always a base stealing threat out there, and of course, puberty coming along and helping that out. Is it something that you have to work on a lot as well, continuing to work on your quick starts and stuff like that to make sure that you're still in good condition to be able to steal bags?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some people out there that are freaks that are just those weird individuals who can go out there and run as fast as they can without doing anything in the middle. But I was someone who always had to put in that extra work, and if you're not getting better, then you're staying still and everyone else around you is getting better. And as for me as an athlete, I developed later in my career. So I was always chasing everyone else to make teams or to get ice time or to get on the field. So it was always really easy to find motivation to put in some extra work or to get quicker, stronger, smarter, whatever it might be.
That's awesome. And you played in a variety of different leagues in your professional career. How tough was the transition between just bouncing between different leagues and the IBL included? How tough was that for you?
The first time you get released and everything kind of gets tossed on its side, it's rattling. You're not sure what to do. And you can even call people. I remember I called my dad because he'd been through the process in juniors, and even in pro. And it's just kind of, no matter what someone tells you, your world's just shaking. But after going through it once, you kind of just get used to the process. You're going to a team with probably too many guys for the roster to hold. Some are going to get cut. Some guys are going to get traded or released throughout the season. You just focus on, performing yourself, being a good guy in the clubhouse. And if you luck out, you get a good clubhouse to go to.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, RJ. Dylan, I don't know if you have any more questions. The last one, I guess, is there any hockey in California that you're playing? Any men's league or anything?
So they actually, I was kind of bummed. They closed down all the ice rinks around here when this first broke out. But that's actually what even during the off season for baseball, try to play beer league 2 or 3 nights a week. And the rink I go to now, they used to have an old system where I knew all the refs. So I would just go tell them I'm John Smith or this person. They let me sub for any team, but they cracked down on all that now.
Got to do what you got to do to get on the ice, right?
Oh, hey, if you grow up running around a rink, you might as well just keep trying to get on the ice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us, RJ. It was a pleasure to have you on our first episode of Quarantine Corner, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the warm weather out there in California. I know me and Dylan are a little bit jealous of you.
Hey, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me on. I hope it gets a little bit warmer for you there.
Thanks, RJ.
Thanks, RJ. That was former London Major RJ Fuhr joining us here on Major's Quarantine Corner in our first episode of this new show that we're doing. Dylan, what a great guest for us to kick things off.
Yeah, for sure. An awesome first guest, a great guy to talk to, and he shared so many wonderful stories about his time with the majors and his baseball experience in general. Really a great guy to get a chance to chat with.
Coming up on the show next week, we have former Fanshawe Falcon and current London Major Robert Doyle will be joining us. Another great interview, I'm sure, for us here on Major's Quarantine Corner. If you guys have any questions you would like us to ask Robert, make sure you submit them to us online, and we'll put a link to that here at the bottom here, an email that you can contact to shoot us some questions for Robert, and we're looking forward to talking to him next week.
We most certainly are. Robert is a member of the current London Majors, and he is a utility man who can play some outfield, and he can pitch as well. Talented at both positions. We're excited to get a chance to speak with him.
Absolutely. We are. Just a reminder that Majors Trivia Tuesday takes place every Tuesday on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, so make sure you check that out. And we'll get out of here and look forward to seeing you next week.